Welcome, welcome. Hi, everyone. A Monday, another Monday, and hopefully we are here. Hopefully we're here. We're here, whether you're here or not, we're here. We're the old reliable silhouette patterns. We're here. Um, we are so excited to be here. We have lots of fun things that we're going to do tonight. This is definitely a dose of, I don't know what it is, but anyway, today is April 18th. I know it's officially spring. And of course in Texas, you guys probably have heard all over the news, we're having a little bit of rain, like a lot. Hail, you name it, tornadoes, all kinds of stuff. But we are not high and dry, but we are dry. Anyway, thanks for being here. We're really going to have fun, and I hope that it can really benefit you. It has definitely benefited me, and I'm going to be way too honest tonight, so I hope that doesn't scare anybody away. The purpose for this is when I was in Florida a little while ago, and so many of the women said to me, I just don't have anything to measure, anything in my closet, or I want to make a t-shirt but I don't have one I like. And I hear it all the time. I say measure your favorite blouse and then, kind of see what you're duplicating. You guys have heard me say that a million times. And like way too often I don't have anything, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, like what is in your closet? If you don't have a blouse you can measure, if you don't have a t-shirt, what's in your closet? If no blouses, no t-shirts, what's left? So when I was in Florida a little while ago, we got on a discussion of what's really in our closets, and that's really what we're going to talk about tonight. Before we do that, we'll go to our traditional questions and answers, and hopefully I can answer the questions you have. The good news about getting your questions answered is usually you'll progress forward. So if we can get those questions answered, then you'll progress. That's the beauty, I think, of asking questions. All right? All right, April 18th, here we go. All right, and let me just give you, before we kind of get started, I'm going to update you on Brett because somebody asks, and it's usually like, it kind of throws me for a loop. Brett's after his 6th chemo treatment, and if you have had chemo, and if you all know, it's torture. He is struggling. Friday we have another PET scan and we'll see the progress. So for right now we're just trying to hold on day by day, and we'll see what happens. We'll know sometime next week. So thanks for all your thoughts and prayers, and my goodness gracious, thank you all. All right, so now we go to questions. No questions, that means you all have it all down? That's awesome. It's really exciting. So maybe we just need to adjust their computers or something. Yeah, just refresh your computers. If you can't see the stream, it's up, it's live, it's going. Everything on our end is working. And I'm going to talk about a couple of things while we're waiting for questions and answers to come in, because when I communicate with you all through email, through phone calls, through whatever, it's very helpful for me because I sense your frustration, but when I can actually communicate the frustration or hear what's underlying the frustration, that is really, really helpful. So I had a really good conversation with Kathleen this last week, and there's lots of Kathleen, so I don't want to point anybody out, but she didn't really know the differences between knits. And there's a slight stretch and a medium stretch and a super stretch. And it's really important that you understand those so that when you're choosing your size, the fabric makes a difference. The fabric always is going to make a difference. We just finished the video, The Fabric Always Wins. It's a new DVD. I think it's going to be out later this week, maybe next week. But we talked about that. It's really important that as you do the different fabrics, that as your fabric is a variable, your size is a variable. One size is not always going to be the answer. And in the beginning, if you're frustrated with that and you only feel confident with one type of stretch, then just stay away from the other kind of stretches until you gain confidence over that one kind. Okay. Oh, New York City was a blast. I mean, we just had so much fun. It really, I love the city. There's so much there. It's just amazing to absorb it all. And there was an amazing group of women, 50 something women. It was just the caliber was just tremendous. It's just such a great opportunity. So for all of you who went, thank you so much. It was just such a great getaway. Okay, question is, I've lost 120 pounds. Oh wow, congratulations. 120 pounds, that's like a person. Recently ordered my first silhouette patterns. My problem is I don't have anything that fits to measure by. What should I do? That's what I was just talking about. You have to go, you don't have to go shopping. I say you have to go shopping. So basically this is like making a cake and you've never tasted cake before and you don't know what kind of cake to make. I would go to the bakery and I would try chocolate and I would try vanilla and I would try red velvet. I would try all the kinds. Or would you just never go out and make every cake there is to see what you liked? That doesn't make sense. That would just take up a lot of time. There's tons of clothes out there. Your job is you got to do a little bit of research. And your research is to go to those stores, try on clothes, take the parts you like, taste the cupcakes, taste the cakes, figure out which cake you like, and then get a recipe for that cake and come home and make it. That's just way too logical. We just haven't been taught that. We've been taught to measure this, measure that, measure your body, measure your bust. Don't do any of that, okay? Do your research. There's a chart. If you go on Silhouette Patterns all the way to the edge, it has features. Click on features in the middle. It says a new chart that says my measurements or my garment measurements, my favorite measurements. You're going to click on that, you're going to print it out, and you're going to fill out that chart. And that chart's going to help you become aware of what you need to know before you start selecting your size. Okay? All right. How do you make a turtleneck? You guys, that's a pattern making question. We're a pattern company. While we always offer lots of fun ways to change up the patterns, tonight even I'm going to show you how to make a pattern. But that is just a pattern making question that we don't advise on. We advise on fit, and we help you fit our patterns. But as far as how to make your turtleneck, that's just beyond what we do. We have a DVD on it. It's called Basic Pattern Making. There's books out there on how to do it. You can do it from the sweater set. But it's too involved for me to either, number one, do on a webcast, or number two, do in an email. Okay? So we're going to respectfully decline to answer. All right? Just got my giraffe with a twist. Just got my giraffe with a twist ITY knit today. So excited to get it made up. I have an idea, but what would you do with this fabric? The giraffe ITY knit is really sad because it's all gone and it went so fast, and I actually wanted some. I would have done a tank dress. I think a tank dress would have been awesome. Pattern 500 in a dress. I think it's just way too cute. I love that little red panel around the bottom. That fabric just went lightning speed out and it's gone. So I would do 500, but I think there's so many things you could do and it would really, really be cute. I have an early teen friend that is heavy, doesn't really have a cup size. Do I make the muslin and go from there? Yeah, if she doesn't really have a cup size, then just guess. The muslin, there's nothing wrong with guessing. The muslin, use a B cup, and then you'll notice the signs of an incorrect cup size. Oh, there'll be wrinkles around the arm, and those wrinkles around the armhole either mean that the shoulder seam is wrong or the cup size is not big enough. Cup sizing is parallel to blouse sizing and bra sizing, but it's not identical. So, you know, even if she doesn't have a cup size, start with a B. She might be a C. Don't worry about it. Trust the cloth and don't worry about the numbers. Okay, and I say that a lot. I have a question. I'm getting diagonal wrinkles under the arm on the back. I've taken up the shoulder seam, still have them. Any suggestions? If it's diagonal wrinkles, it has to be an angle. It has to be the shoulder seam. So is it a silhouette pattern, and which pattern is it? And then maybe I could advise you another way. Could you once again explain how to correct for the round back by slashing? How do you add to the back and keep the fold straight? When you slash through the back, I don't have a bodice back here, but when you slash through the back, we can use this because it's stripe. Slash through the back, you're going to open up, it's usually right around the shoulder blades. That's actually where the length is usually not adequate. The shoulder blades are kind of like a rear end. So everybody's shoulder blades have different length to them, just like rear ends. Some stick out more, some don't. So when I'm slashing, it's going to be right around the shoulder blades that I'm slashing a horizontal dart. It starts at center back and goes to nothing to the side seam. All right? So when I'm adding or spreading that pattern, it creates a line that is no longer completely straight. But just put the base of the neck on the fold, put the hem on the fold, and just draw a line right in between. You'll cut a little bit of circumference off where you've got that dart, but it's going to be very small, and if you need to, you can add it back over at the armhole. You can change the angle of the armhole, and you can add it back over there. So you don't need to, it really isn't, you probably even could do without it, just depending on how much it is. Okay, but just put the whole line on a fold, top of the neckline, bottom of the hem, and cut off anything that's left. Okay. Will your wrap skirt pattern work with a very light cotton voile? Sure. The wrap skirt pattern will work with knits or wovens, either way. Anytime a pattern is made for a woven, it will work with a knit as well. You just have to think about how am I going to move and how am I going to get it off and on. You've just got to adjust your sizing. Okay. For knits that have little stretch, is a good idea to sew sides at 1/4 inch instead of 1/2 inch. I'm not understanding how you're thinking, and so I don't know the answer to that question. For knits that have little stretch, the seam allowance is 3/8, so I'm not sure where 1/4 and 1/2 come from. If you just can reword it and send it again. Can you make your own tie interfacing? How would you make tie interfacing? Tie interfacing is a woven piece of cloth. These are some interesting questions. You can take it out of a tie. You know, you can take it out of the inside of a tie. It just depends on what your time is worth. If you have more time than anything, then yes, but we sell tie interfacing for a yard is only $9.50. But you know, hey, is all the fabric from New York on the site yet, or should I wait a little longer to decide what to buy? Oh my sweet dear, we have hardly begun. We have so much fabric coming from New York, it will shock and amaze you all. We'll put it up little by little. So I would, you know, it goes fast. It really does. We hit a gold mine when we were in New York. We got a whole lot from a designer, and I can't say the name. The name's actually on the fabric if you order the fabric, but I can't say the name, and I can't say that we're selling on the internet. I've got restrictions that I had to sign off on, but it's beautiful. You'll know the name if you order any of it. We'll put American Designer. And all the fabrics, like I say, they have the name of the designer because the fabric was made for that designer, and we bought a lot. We bought a lot of it, so it's great. I mean, it's great stuff. But no, we haven't got it yet. I mean, we've gotten some, but there's lots more coming. I'm making De Laurentiis top and shaped like a pumpkin. Okay, that gives me a visual. A bridal fitter made my French darts go almost to the hem. Does that sound right? Well, how tall are you? You know, if you're shorter than the French dart, but the French darts could go to the hem and it would be okay. But I would think, I don't know. I mean, it's not enough information for me to really answer that question. Was the top lengthened? You could change the angle of the French dart to keep it at the side. There's nothing wrong with the French dart coming from the hem. Sometimes if it's made larger, sometimes if the top is shortened, it's okay to come from the bottom. It's still a French dart, technically. So it's okay as long as the goal of the French dart is to be somewhat not noticeable. So as long as you're happy the fact of the fit and that it's not noticeable, then those little things aren't necessary. As long as you're happy with the fit. I wouldn't get involved with the logistics or say that it's right and wrong because of where it starts or stops. Okay? I mean, 1/4 seam allowance. Okay, so if it's little stretch, I would add more seam allowance. I'm reading the question thinking that you want to take seam allowance away if it's of little stretch. So I'm not really understanding what your logic is. If there's not a lot of stretch to a fabric and you're not sure the size is large enough, then I would add larger seam allowances to make sure you had enough circumference in case you needed them. Does that make sense? So I'm not sure where you're going smaller. I would go larger. Unless I'm not understanding something, which is extremely possible. Can you explain the knit with the woven on what to be aware of mixing? Can you explain the knit with woven? I think y'all are writing so fast that that I'm not getting complete sentences or complete thoughts.
There's a good minute delay, and then they need to give us the reference with the question.
Yeah, okay, thanks, my web guy. There's a good minute delay. There's about a 30-second to 45-second delay. So if you'll just give the reference to what you're asking to, because there's so many questions coming in that we don't know what it's referenced to because of that delay. But we'll get this. This is valuable. I just need to have a little bit more information. So we'll wait. We'll wait until we get it. We got all kinds of fun things to do tonight, but we'll have time. And we appreciate y'all being here. Can you please show how the ruffle on the striped tank is attached? Shown in the earlier broadcast, and I think it's on now. Yeah, it is, and we will go through it. We'll go through all of that, you guys. And I will show you. And I did it a little differently this time than I did last time, just so you can see there's not one right way, as long as you choose which way you want to do it. There's not a right and a wrong. It's really fun. I liked the top that I had made before was kind of like a sweater knit, and it's gotten warmer for summer, so I really wanted a lighter one, and I love this one I did. Can Nikki's top 215 be done in a one-way stretch fabric? Pattern says two-way only. It really needs two-way. The reason it needs two-way, it can be one way, you just can't pay attention to the layout. So you'll have to use a little bit more fabric. And as those pieces cross through and create the puzzle, here's the 215 that she's talking about. As the pieces go through and create this puzzle effect, you've just got to make sure that all of these are on the stretch. So doing that will take up more fabric than if you have the two-way stretch. Okay? Let's not move that. We'll leave it there. I have a question. The latest skirt pattern with the uneven bottom, would it be too difficult or possible to make the skirt with an even hem rather than the original? Sure. Just cut it off. I would cut it like it is and then just make it up. I would. It's up to you. Make it up and then just cut from the shortest point, or just cut it all long. Either way. It's probably hard by looking at the pieces to figure out where to add to make it even. So if you just added length to the shortest piece, and that way you could put it on and then decide what you want to do with it. Yeah, the only reason it's asymmetric is the whole flow of the skirt is asymmetric. It will change up the look, but you guys that know I'm a big believer in your skirt, your look, your choice, your fabric. You wear it, right? How can I use Kiana stretch fabric? I don't know what Kiana stretch fabric is. Kiana stretch fabric. Nikki, what is it? Kiana is a name for something that somebody named. I'm not familiar with what it is. Nikki's top 215. How do you lower the shoulder angle? Um, Same way on any shirt. There's just two pieces. It's like maybe looks like a princess seam, but you just put them together and change the shoulder angle. You take it out of the armhole and leave the neck point where it is. Just change the angle. There must be more to that question because I'm sure you know that. So I don't know how to answer that because I don't know what you're not getting. Does Shelley's dress pattern hide a tummy or draw attention to it? You guys know the answer to that. I wouldn't put out a pattern that drew attention to your tummy. Shelley's dress. It's right here. It is the most flattering dress available. Oh my gosh, I love this thing. The gathers are up above to the side, so it's very flattering. It's got a little A-line skirt. Very, very flattering to a tummy. Very flattering. What is ITY knits? I see others refer to it. ITY means interlock twisted yarn. In the old days, a knit would, you know, like if you got a snag and you cut that snag off, the knit would run. With an interlock twisted yarn, all the yarns are separately compiled, so in the knitting process, so one is not dependent upon the others to stay in place. So if you clip one, nothing happens. It's no big deal. If you snag it, it's no big deal. It's a much more stable knit. Right now we're only seeing ITY knits done in polyester. I think that will morph. I think we're going to see ITY knits being done in rayon and other fabrics. Right now it's not, but it's just a progression. I think we will. It'll be really exciting when we get an ITY in a silk knit. That will be awesome. It won't be cheap, but it'll be fun. All right. Which pattern is the top you have on? I have on 924 Polo's top. 924 Polo's top. Polo's favorite top, Polo's best top, one of those two. Polo's best top. Okay, so let's get started. I think if we've given enough time to questions, everybody's got their questions answered. Well, let's answer the questions. We've got a little bit of time tonight. Let's go ahead and do that. It won't take me that long to kind of go through everything, and you guys have to know that I'm going to be stern. We're going to have a stern... All right, so let's go ahead and do the lesson, and then we'll go ahead and ask questions at the end, if we can do that. For knit sewing, what is the difference between stretch and ball needles? I don't use... nothing. A needle's a needle. It'll go through anything. So I don't change up a needle. Everything I sew is with the same needle. And I sell those needles. They're 70-10. You don't have to buy them from me. That's not the reason I said that. But all I do is when I break a needle, I put on a new one. All of this needle stuff to me is absolutely ridiculous. But again, my background is from the industry. They have one needle, and everything is sewn with one needle. That's it. Okay, good. My question is I wanted to put woven sleeves in a knit top. What do I need to know to be aware of? I don't think you want to put woven sleeves in a knit top. Could we do it the other way? Yes. Woven sleeves require more circumference for mobility. So anytime we use a woven sleeve, that's like a blouse, we have to have more fabric, and more fabric is always going to make us look heavier. So that's not done. I mean, I've never seen that. I'm not saying you don't want to do it, but I'm suggesting against it. You do want to use a knit sleeve in a woven blouse. That's done all the time. It's a great look. And you just take the knit sleeve and the knit armhole, and you draw the knit armhole onto the woven bodice. Very simple to do. Usually all you have to do is extend the side seam up and create the bodice, and it's fabulous. But I've never seen it done the opposite way around. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess if you want to do it, just take the woven sleeve and draw the woven armhole onto the knit body. You just beware that that's probably not what you're wanting. In a video, pardon? Alright, in a video you drape a jacket on a dress form by pinning darts across the jacket above the breast. Do you have a video to show how to apply those changes to the pattern? Well, yes, we have a lot of videos. DVD, I think you're talking DVDs. We have the ones that are dress fitting that show the pattern changes are Achieving Great Fit Through Muslins, Fitting Yourself by Yourself. Those two specifically talk about changes, draping, and back to the pattern. Those two both do. All of our PBS, especially the 500 series, every time we make a change, we take it back to the tissue. We kind of just paralleled them all the time. So hopefully those will help you. There's some new 500 series up, and if you watch some of those 500, you might get a taste on YouTube just for kind of the style of how we did it. We did the draping, we did the pattern work. Okay? Okay, so I've had a lot of fun lately simply because this whole recognition for me to recognize all about fabrics and why you are not struggling with fabrics, because you're not struggling with fabrics. I think it's just a new enterprise for you. And they're not that hard, and so it's interesting to me that there's so much to do about them. What I wanted to do was, again, from conversations I've had with you all, the concept of I walk into my closet and I have nothing to wear. I say, well, why don't you make some things? Well, there's no space in my closet. We're going to clean out the closet. We're going to clean out the closet. So we're going to create a new environment in this closet, and I'm going to tell you something. I did it. My closet's divided into spring, summer, fall, winter. I'm only talking about spring, summer. You can even just isolate it to spring if you want. Your choice. But I'm going to give you some suggestions on what I did. I took my spring, summer wardrobe. I hate to admit some of this to you, but I'm going to because I need to. I had 200 pieces in my spring, summer closet. Yeah, you heard that right. 200 pieces of clothing. So you think about that when you go into your closet to get dressed every day, mentally how long it has to take to get through 200 pieces to figure out what you should put on that day. It's too much. It's just too much. So somehow through all these occurrences in my life lately, I've kind of streamlined and think less is more. Less is more. So that was my goal, to clean it up. Less is more. And I did a lot of reading and I did a lot of research, and it seemed like every show I turned on had something to do with spring wardrobe planning. It really was amazing. And I'm sure it wasn't because I was looking for it. It was just because I was more in tune with that topic. So if you clean out your closets, can I come look? I actually did post a before and after. I mean, I didn't post it, I'm sorry. I took a before and after. You guys, I did it just for me, just because I so wanted an Oprah closet, okay? I want it with the beautiful hangers, and I want that kind of closet, and I have a nice walk-in closet. But there's so much, it's just overstuffed. I mean, like I go to those closet organizer store, and you can't organize it any better. It's just got too much. So I decided I was going to clean it out. But every time I go to clean it out, oh, I like this. Oh, I like this. I can't throw this away. Oh, this is it. I can't do this away. So what I did is I read all kinds of stuff. I came up with I could have 25 pieces in spring and summer. Now, when I decided could have 25 pieces, I did not know I had 200 pieces. I only knew that 25 pieces was what all these sites were recommending, all these different books. I was reading all kinds of stuff. It's a conglomeration of everything I read. Yeah, I'm going to get there. There's a breakdown. Hold on. So the 25 pieces, just listen, you guys. I'm going to go over it really thoroughly, and then we'll ask questions. Now, keep in mind, this is your spring, summer, or your spring. I would not recommend you try to clean out your whole closet at one time. It's too much. It's too overwhelming. So you're not even going to go to your closet yet. You're simply going to go to paper, and for your lifestyle, you're going to decide how those 25 pieces are broken down. For me, this is spring, summer. I live in Texas. It's hot. I want casual. I want all of that. I decided of my 25 pieces, 8 dresses, 2 jackets, 4 skirts, 3 pants, 8 tops. I'll say it again. 8 dresses, 8 tops, 4 skirts, 2 jackets, 3 pants. That was my breakdown. That's because I love in the summertime to throw on a dress and sandals. I just like my everyday look. I love, or throw on a skirt with sandals and a top, or I don't wear a lot of pants in the summer because they're hot. And I have some. I mean, I still have some for like if I go somewhere, I still have some. So you want to think this through. Don't rush to judgment. I sat down and I was amazed all the places on an airplane, just kind of doodling, and I've really spent a lot of time on this. It may not look that way, but I've spent a lot of time thinking about this. The thinking time, I think, is much more important than the actually application of it all. So the thought was I wanted to limit it to 25. So again, even before I went to my closet, immediately in my mind, you want to pick some that you're going to keep and some that you're going to then make. And that's what I did next. So out of my 8 dresses, right off the top of my head, I knew 4 that I wanted to keep, that I just loved, that were fairly new, I didn't want to give away, So I wrote those down. The 2 jackets, I had just made a brand new jacket. I had just made this 15-16. I love this crazy jacket. So I certainly wasn't going to give that away. And this silk bomber jacket, love this jacket. Wasn't going to give that away either. So bam, those are my 2 jackets. My jackets were done. So the point being is you want to go through and make a keep. Again, on paper, don't go into the closet because the closet will overwhelm you. The closet's like that dark hole. You're going to fall into the rabbit hole if you go into your closet. Do it on paper. All right, so then I've got my 8 dresses, my 2 jackets, 3 pants. I just decided on a legging, a yoga pant, and a capri. Now keep in mind, I had just made the capri. We had just made these capris like 2 weeks ago, so I love these cute little capris. I wasn't, that didn't make any sense. And legging, I had already made my little legging, my spring jeggings, we'll call them, so I was going to keep those. And I've just made a new pair of black yoga pants. I love them. So that, again, that's it. That will do. That's enough. So you can see that my jackets and my pants were already done. So the point being, obviously, is you're going to have to decide how much in your wardrobe you're going to keep of the 25 and then how much you're going to replace. And I made my wardrobe, but you don't have to make your wardrobe. I just made it because I've gotten to the point where I like what I make more than what I buy. That doesn't mean I don't buy. I find some stuff and I like it and I'll buy it. Obviously I do because I ended up with 200 pieces. But so now I had this plan of what I was going to make and what I was going to keep. Now I went through my closet. Now I started into the closet. So recognize what I did first is I had this rolling rack and I took out the pieces that I was going to keep. Now also remember that I'm not doing my fall wardrobe yet. I left my fall wardrobe. I did not count how many pieces. I don't want to count how many pieces, but I didn't touch my fall wardrobe. I was only dealing with spring and summer, or pick whatever season. If for you guys, some of you, spring is one season, summer is another, and you can have 25 and 25. It's your closet. I'm just telling you that 200 is overwhelming and 25 is exciting and fresh, and I get my clean hangers and I love my closet. It's still like 3 weeks worth of clothes. It's not like you have to wear the same thing every day. So it's still a lot of clothes. Less is more. You got to keep thinking that. All right, so then as I was going through my closet, what pattern is this silk bomber jacket? 1600. 1600. We did this on a webcast. 1600, and I love it. I just love it. I just love everything about it. Anyway, so when I was going through my closet, it was like, oh my gosh, I forgot this. I can't give this away. So I did cheat on some things. I put them into the fall closet side. So that way I don't have to throw them away until fall closet. But I did get rid of a lot of stuff. And I'm going to tell you something. I did not, I would go to the Goodwill if I were you. I took them to the Goodwill. I donated them. There's some amazing stuff at this Goodwill store. I don't know where it's going, but somebody's going to be really lucky because there's some really nice things. I just wasn't wearing them and I had too much. So off they went. I did not go through the pile a second time. Once I put it in the pile, off. I took it off. Do not go through that pile twice. So there's things as I went through that I thought, oh, I cannot give this away. I stuck it in in the winter side. So that's cheating. I get it. You know, my son said to me today, do you know you cheat or do you just rationalize that you don't really cheat? No, I know I cheat. So I stuck it in my winter side. Come winter, I can deal with cleaning that side out. Maybe then I'll stick it on my spring side. I don't know. But for right now, this is my spring wardrobe. And everywhere I go, this spring, summer, into fall, this is what I will wear. And you all will see me in it because these are the only clothes I'm allowed to wear. And I'm going to stick to it. And I'm going to tell you, even in the first little while, it's so much fun. My problem though is I just make another. I just make another. Today I made a little top. It was in my plan though, don't get me wrong, it was in my plan, but I thought this is why sewing is so much fun. In a minute I can just have a new t-shirt. And so it's just a whole bunch of fun. Alright, so with that I'd like to kind of go through. There's a couple patterns that I actually kind of drafted that I want to show you because they're really cute ideas, and everything I did I stole from stores, so it's real current, it's real trendy. That's another thing about redoing the closet is don't make too much because you'll get overwhelmed with that. Keep only the pieces you love. Don't keep something if you just don't love it. And there's a few little things like I snuck in, like under this I had a white tank, so I considered that one. Even though the white tank, I get that it's another piece, I still considered that one. Okay. So there's definitely a few fidgeting that's going on here. Alright, so my dresses that I kept. Now we have a little a sale pack that's going up. But I can't remember what it is, you guys, but it'll be up tomorrow. Don't order the patterns tonight, it'll be up tomorrow. I did a little tank dress, and I know that I've shown this to you guys before. I love this little tank dress. The fabric was really weird. I absolutely love it, and so I wear it all the time, and I couldn't get rid of that. And even though I had it last summer, I still really enjoy wearing it, and no intention of giving it up. It was just great. Every time I wore it I felt comfortable, so if I had to wear it every 3 weeks I figured I would be a happy girl. Alright, then this is Vincent's dress. This is 4014. Love it. Or I'm sorry, Vince's dress is 4013. Love it, love it, love it. This is a tank dress. And you guys know I had this fabric, or I don't know, maybe we still have the fabric. Love this. It's a border print, and I wear it with like a little black belt, a little thing over top of it. Love it. Absolutely love it. So a little tank dress. If I were to make a new dress, I would make a new tank dress with just a different fabric. So I recognize that I really liked this one. This is Shelley's dress. Love this little Shelley's dress. Comfortable, love the fabric, love everything about it. That was a no-brainer. This one is the dress that is new, 4015. Love that dress also. So these are, you can see, great, easy, knit dresses, throw on, love, love, love. I made the little shrug. We did that last week or 2 weeks ago, and that little shrug can go over these. A lot of times they're sleeveless or they're short sleeve, and I put a little shrug on over it. And so the reason I showed you that shrug is because I wear it a lot, and it's going to go with a lot of different dresses that I wear. I just throw a little shrug on. If it's really hot and I'm by myself, I don't care and I take it off. But you know, most of the time it works really well. This was the little jumpsuit that I made that I had on last time. Remember that that's one of my dresses. I know it's a jumpsuit, but I considered that one of my dresses, so I kept that. This is 4200, and I made that into, that's a knit. So the centers are regular fabric, the sides are black, just black Pontoroma, and then I put a little zipper up the front. So, and then the last of my dresses too I'd shown on a webcast. This was, so you can see I'm cheating because the top that goes with it, I consider this one because it's one look, even though this is, you know, it's one hanger. That's what I could, as long as I could get on one hanger, I counted it as one. This is pattern number 4000. Remember we did a little jewel through the neck. If you go back, we put little beads here. I love this little treatment. We made the little sweater set to go over it, the little shrug there, and it ties in to kind of be a belt, so there's nothing at the waist. It's pattern number 4000. It's a swing dress, and it's just really cool, really comfortable, and really simple. So those are my 8. So actually out of my 8, all of them were fairly new anyway, and I like all of them. So I didn't plan on replacing any of my dresses, and I felt like those 8 were a really good representation. There were some I gave away that, I don't know, maybe they needed this and I didn't wear it. You know, it's just too high maintenance. These were kind of low maintenance, in a grab, throw them on, they look great, I'm out the door and ready to go. Alright, then I had my 2 jackets. The bomber jacket, we showed that. And my goal was to take the bomber jacket, and if you notice the colors that are in this bomber jacket, I was going to wear it with the new skirt, which is kind of a beige. So the beige picks up, or I could wear it with my black yoga pants if I decided to do that. It could go either way. So the new skirt, I kept that as one of my skirts, because I could also wear the new jacket with that new skirt also, being the white and blue on top and the beige on the bottom. Okay, so now we get into skirts. I want to show skirts. Well, the pants we've already shown, so the pants are really easy. I've got a pattern I want to draft for the skirt, so let me show you the one we want to draft, and we'll draft that first. There's a couple things I want to do. This is the skirt. And there's numerous patterns you could start from. I'm going to tell you how I did it, and then obviously this is just a little play on the stripes on the fabric, and it's a real cute little asymmetric hem, and I just really like that. This is if you look up Nick and Zoe, I think you'll find it on the Nick and Zoe site, and that'll kind of give you a visual for it. Okay, so let me show you how I did it. I first started with pattern 2350. 2350 Eileen's skirt is just one big piece of skirt. This was really fun, you guys. Okay, so it's just one big pattern piece, has a dart at the side seam, and I just cut it right in half into 2 pieces, a front and a back. Alright, then I duplicated the front and I duplicated the back so that you had one front and one back. You want to have, the front has to be all the way open. This is really easy to do, so if you like to do patterns, even if you don't like to do patterns, it's really easy to do. You're going to do the same thing to the front as you do to the back. You're just going to do it twice. The darts in the back are longer depending on your pattern that you start with, but you want to make sure that that pattern, that straight skirt pattern, is what you like and the way you want it to be. So here's the front, and again it's the same with the back. So I had 2 darts here and 2 darts here. I went from the first dart at the bottom of the first dart, and I made a straight diagonal line 2 inches to the opposite side of center front. So you can see my line is going from the bottom of the dart 2 inches to the other side of center front. Bam, cut those in half. Then on this one you're going to shorten this piece by 2 inches. I chose 2 inches. You might do something different, but I chose 2 inches. Alright, there you go. You're going to cut it apart, add seam allowance, you're going to sew them back together. But this piece right here, and this is the same for the front as it is for the back, this is going to be on the stripe. This straight line is going to be parallel with the stripes of the skirt. The smaller piece, the stripes are going to be parallel to the hem of the skirt. Okay? So that when you sew those together, these stripes look like they're actually crooked because it's a side and you're putting the bottom straight and the bottom isn't straight, and these are going straight with this stripe, and it has this asymmetric finish. You're seeing actually both sides. Let me undo it, and I put a little invisible zipper in the side. You don't have to do that. You could kind of even do it with a yoga, you know. Now you're also seeing the back, which you typically wouldn't see the back once it's on. But anyway, that's the skirt. I love the lines, I love the stripes, I loved everything about it. It's very flattering because you've got stripes basically going up and down and at an angle, but nothing's going horizontal. It's really cute on, and it's very flattering. Now keep in mind, when I made that, I had my black top that was my Nikki's top that I made to go with my capris, so I could wear that with my skirt. So when you decide to do a print, your print is going to be much more limiting than your solids. Just kind of keep that in mind. What is the shrug pattern, please? we don't have a pattern number, but we started with 214. If you go back to last webcast, last week was pant lining, but the time before that we had a little tops to wear with your pants, and I made the shrug out of 214, and I showed how to go through the pattern using 214 as a base, how to make that little shrug. Okay? Alright, so when I made a print skirt, I realized that that was going to be a little more limiting than if I made a solid skirt, but I really decided that I wanted the look of the print, and I decided I would sacrifice, I think it's kind of, not that I don't like solids, I love solids, but I think stripes or prints can really give you a wow effect, sometimes more than what the solid can. So I think it's nice to have a real mixture in your closet of a little bit of both. So that's the skirt. Easy enough and cute. Very cute to do, very easy to do. Okay. Again, 2350 was that base. Cut it, and then just it's how you lay the stripe. And you can use a knit, you can use a woven, you can use either one you want. Okay, then I did, this is a piece that we used from last spring. It was 1855. I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, doesn't matter. I had worn it last summer, but it was at the end of the summer when I got it. And I loved wearing it, and I wasn't done wearing it. So I couldn't fathom giving it away. So we kept it. And what I wear this with is my white little tank and my white leggings. Swing jacket, thank you. The swing jacket. So I kept that, and I kept it as a top, not a jacket, because I already had two jackets. See, I told you I'm cheating a little bit. Also with my white leggings, this is a new fabric. Oh my gosh, I love this. It's so cute on. We'll put the fabric up. I don't know the name of the fabric. Anyway, but this is pattern number 95. It's loose, it's open. To me, I could do it with the black yoga pants or the white jeggings. Either one would be adorable. A little white t-shirt underneath or a little black t-shirt wouldn't make a difference, but I love that. Absolutely love that. This here is the selvage of the fabric, so you can see it makes a great little trim on that. And that's 95, just worn open, no button. It's about an hour sewing project. Very quick, very easy. This was something I had. You all know that I made this a little bit ago. Love the fabric. This is an ITY knit. The beauty of this, a lot of times if I use an ITY knit and I'm making the whole garment out of an ITY knit, because ITY is poly and sometimes it's warm in the summer, I actually lined it with a rayon knit. So the base piece under the bottom of all this is a rayon knit. So the rayon is what's next to my body, not necessarily the ITY, and the ITY has lots of holes in it, so the top is not warm at all. But again, I can wear this with my black yogas, or I can wear it with my white jeggings. Okay? Are they okay? The striped skirt, yes. The striped skirt has an invisible zipper in the side seam. Where is it? Yes. Can't see it. And where the stripes match on the side, because both sides are done the same, you don't even have to worry about lining them up. You'll see that they duplicate, how they match to this piece duplicates how it matches to that piece. So it's really a fun little skirt to make, and you don't have to worry about what's matching or anything else. It's very cute. Okay, then one of the skirts I did was 2850. I love this skirt. Can't live without this skirt. Can't even imagine summer without this skirt. So I had to keep the skirt, and I decided that for this summer I would do Chanel's top and wear Chanel's top with it because I already had it, and I love the combination. I don't even care about sleeve length in the summertime. A lot of times I'll pull them up, I'll push them up, or I'll do 3/4 like what I have on. Either way. 116. Yeah, that's going to go with my great little Michael Kors skirt. I mean, obviously I can change all these around, but I at least had at least one or two in mind, so that to make sure everything kind of had a partner so that you could wear it. Alright, then the other skirt I did was Nick and Zoe's skirt. Again, because I love the skirt, I love the fabric, I love everything about it. So I left that in the wardrobe too because I couldn't bear to do without it. And actually the top I have on I really made to go with this. This is kind of a denim-y fabric, and this is the denim-y, the rayon, the Fab 5 denim rayon, whatever it's called. And I really like this. And then what I did with this is I took the black lace, and I'm going to turn around. You can see that the back is the black lace. And so I thought that would be really cute with a skirt, just because it was light and airy. Now the black lace that we have, it's dense enough to where you can't even see through the black lace, even though the whole back is lace. You know, it's a stretch lace. Be careful of your lace, because obviously some is more see-through than others. This you can't even see through. I wouldn't even have to worry about bras or anything, because it's not see-through. So when you are subbing the back for a knit or a different fabric, it's fun. It changes it up a little bit. Usually when I try to change up a garment, I'll think of, can I change up the fabric somehow, or what can I add on? With this one I have on, you can see I did all the little crystals just on the collar. Love this. And then of course the back is lace. I just really like it, and it feels great on. This Fab rayon is just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. 113, Sunny's top, 113. Michael Kors skirt is 28.50. And tonight it's gonna take us a while. We're gonna have to get all these fabrics and patterns up on the site, so it's gonna take us a while. This is pattern number 500. This was the one we did. Again, I've done it in a webcast. I've showed it to you. What I love about it is, again, it's a tank top, but it has a little sleeve to it. It's adorable on. This time what I did is, on the edge of this, I did a fold over elastic. This is just serged. I didn't want it's just serged on the edge and then top stitched right into place, because I didn't want to maximize that look. I wanted to minimize it. So all I did was leave it flat, I serged it, and then I just top stitched it right in place. Okay? But the edge here has an elastic. It gives it a little bit of drape. The neckline has the fold over. So this little flap is, the width of the flap I think was 9 inches. Yeah, it's 9 inches wide. You just measure from your shoulder to where you want it to be down to. That's a straight line both back and front. And then I put this portion on a fold, or you can make a seam there. It doesn't make a difference. And then you anchor it into the edge, and then just stitch it here all the way down and kind of lap it at the side seam. You can see that mine's just lapped at the side seam from front to back. Okay, easy enough. Very easy to do, very quick to do. I think this would be an adorable tank dress to make it long and put this on. And I was going to do that, but I ran out of pieces. I wasn't allowed any more pieces, so I had to stick with what I was doing. Alright, so I've got another piece that I want to show you. I love this piece, and I want to... Can you get that camera and just go this way with it? Do you mind? I want to look at this little mannequin here for a little bit, because I just love this top. Now, I had seen this top in the store, and so this, to me, I could pull in with my yoga pants. I could pull in with my white jeggings. I've got a skirt I could put on this with. I've got several options as to what I could wear it with. This base pattern is $195. So I started with $195. This is that hippie tie-dye stuff. These are new mannequins, by the way. They have arms on them. I mean, you know, you have to pay a little bit extra, but it's kind of cool to have an arm on a mannequin. I think it is anyway. All right, so what I did is I made the shirt exactly like it was. And I didn't finish half of this so I could show you how to do it. So I made the shirt exactly how it was. The only thing I didn't finish was the hem. And then I cut off these little curves on the side. You can see I cut up about 3 inches on the side. I left 4 inches in the center because you wanted something to hook this onto. This is just a band. It's a contrasting band. You could do it all out of the same fabric. I just did it out of a contrasting fabric. So this is actually a little peekaboo that goes over your hips. And then you're going to, I finished all this, but then you're going to put a piece on there. And I left this open so I could show you how I did it. So I just cut a long rectangular piece. I was kind of careful to get the color that I wanted. I definitely wanted the brighter color at the bottom. So I was careful to cut this little strip of the brighter. You're going to sew this on and just literally sew it right along the hem. What I did is I finished the hem, and I serged it and then turned it under and top stitched it, or you could do this all at the same time and sew it all the way to that point and then cut it off. Cut off whatever's left and cut it nice and straight. This is actually cut straight. It's just because I fringed it, it doesn't look like it's straight. But once I sewed it to this point, I just cut it off. So I did the same thing to the back. I just pinned it until I got to that point, and same thing, and then I cut it off straight. So that's kind of what it looks like, which it looks kind of silly. Before I did that, obviously I made this band. The band is 2 inches wide. It's equal to the bottom of the pattern. Now when you have it on, it's really cute because it kind of shows the top of the pants that you have underneath it. It's really cute on. I mean, I love the top. This little band is just the width of the bottom of the blouse, and it goes all the way around. So I made a tube that was 2 inches wide, and then I just top stitched it right onto this front piece. I hemmed all of this, top stitched it here, stitched this on, and cut this up. So once you cut it off, you can go ahead and continue to cut it, and then you're going to pull it and stretch it and make your fringe. Now you could cut this fringe different layers or all the same layers, or you could do different things with your fringe if you want, but this little peekaboo hole is adorable. The top that I saw had the peekaboo hole here, and then it also had a peekaboo hole in the shoulder, the arm. The sleeve, I'm sorry. I didn't want that. I really wanted all the focus here, so I left it alone. But just know that you could put it other places, and there's lots of things you can do here with little cutouts. Love the fringe, love that look. Just a great little top. Alright, so everything you make, I think you want to do it to where it has some fun addition that you really, really like. The top I have on, I love the lace back. It's just unusual, it's different, or maybe it's common, I don't know, but you know what I'm saying. Just instead of making a top just exactly like it is, give it some kind of little twist, either with some little add-on. What I noticed is the garments that seemed to be my favorites were simply the ones that I liked the way they looked, and so they had like the lace, or they had the fringe, or they had something like that that attracted me to them, but I loved the fabric. So the best thing about making is I could pick the fabric and then make the little things on them that I really liked. So that's why I'm saying kind of go in both directions. So this is my spring wardrobe. This is it. This is all I get all spring summer, and I'm excited. Everything else is going to have to cheat and go into the winter pile or go into the winter side. Okay, so questions, it's close, but let's go over a little bit. Answer your questions you have, and I'm happy to help. Alright, question is, when making a tank dress, do you just go straight down from the hips, or do you A-line it a little? I go straight down from the hips. I do not A-line it, and I do not go in. When I make a tank dress, I don't do either way. I just go straight. Okay? What are your thoughts on capsule wardrobes? Well, I'm not sure what that is exactly. Obviously I've read capsule wardrobes, and I know that supposedly they're supposed to all go together, and I think it's a great concept. I think it's a little too matchy-matchy to me, and it gets a little boring. So I think that's why I didn't worry that every piece matched every other piece. I just wanted to have things that were, I just wanted to limit it. So once I get sick of these, you guys, hey, I'll make some more. We all know we've got a stash. We all have a stash that we could probably make 25 pieces from our stash. That's not necessarily the most fun. We can buy some new ones. We've got some great fabrics, but I think that it doesn't matter. I just think that what we really need to focus on is if we're at the 200 mark, it's too much, it's overwhelming, let's bring it down. And that, I think, will make our lives so much simpler and easier. The sleeves on the striped top look much wider than the red stripe you showed. The sleeves on the striped top. Striped top. This one. Okay, look much wider than the red stripe you showed us on the YouTube. Did you make them bigger? I did not. They're exactly the same. It could be they're lighter, not darker, but they're exactly the same. I used the same pattern piece. I'd made a pattern piece, and I used the exact same pattern. So the band on the bottom is only attached to the thievery front and back at the top with the fringe area not attached. That's correct. This is not attached through here at all. This is just going to be hanging on the hips. It just kind of sits on the top of your hips on the pant. It's very cute. What is the 2-inch bottom tube attached to at the side of the tie-dye top? It's not attached to anything. It just floats free. we'll turn over this side so you can see the arm's not in the way. Your hips are going to keep that up. That's why I say you don't have to make it darker. You can make it the same color as the top. You could do whatever you want. I just chose to kind of make it a little contrasty. Okay? What is a 2-inch folded, and is it 2-inch folded in half and attached? It's 4 inches to start, and then it ended up being 2 inches once I folded it in half, and then I just top stitched it right in here. I actually made a long tube, then I did the French seam on the seam allowance over here. I did a little French seam right there. You don't see it, it's at the side. It's not attached to anything there. You could have put the seam in the back, but I think it would have been too obvious. And then you just attach it to the front, top stitch, and attach it to the back, top stitch both. Are we good? You guys got some ideas? Yes? Clean them out. You guys, we've got too much. What fabric did you use for white jeggings? It was on the site, we're out of it. It was a white twill. But we don't have any more left. But it's a white stretch twill, and I love it. I love those jeggings. And you know what's fun to me is everything here I just really like, and that doesn't mean I won't get tired of it, but I really like it, and I'm really excited about my limited wardrobe. And then I went out and I bought these big beautiful hangers. Actually, I didn't buy them, I had them, but I put them all together in one place in my closet. And I mean, I love it. I have like my Oprah closet. It's not even close to the size, but I really, really like it. It's not all jammed in there. I can clearly see what I have. Someone did suggest that if you wear something, take it and then turn the hanger back around. So that means you've worn it. So you'll really cycle through your closet a little more balanced, and you won't have to think about what you wore or what you didn't. So hang it back on the hanger when you wash it. Put the hanger backwards so that you can tell what you've worn and what you haven't worn. I thought that was a great idea. Again, just so that you make sure you're not wearing the same dress to the same party 3 days in a row or whatever. All right, other questions. What fabric is the striped top with the sleeves? You guys, I don't know the name of this fabric. It's on the website. I'll put tonight when we're doing the page, we always do the page, or in the morning, whichever one. We'll have all the fabrics that we have, we'll have them up. We don't have all the fabrics. We had all the fabrics, but we don't have all the fabrics. So we have this one. We have Pontoroma. We have that one. We have this one. This is the black rayon. That's gone. That's gone. We have this blue, this navy. I love that. We have the silk for the bomber jacket. We have the jumpsuit. And I think that's it. No, we have this. I'm not sure what it's called, but we have that. We have the fabric I have on. And we have this. Alright? If you take a vertical dart out of the front, to shoulder, due to a bit too much fullness, do I need to take a dart out of the top of the back shoulder pattern also for a knit tee? You shouldn't be taking a vertical dart out of the front of a t-shirt. I don't know what you're trying to do. Too much fullness. It's not the right solution. I'm not sure what the problem is, but a vertical dart out of a t-shirt isn't the solution. But forget that. Let's just say it is the solution. If you're taking it out of the front, you got to take it out of the back so the shoulder width matches. It might go lower and go to a pivot point sooner, but yes, if you take it out of a front, you have to take it out of a back so the shoulder seam matches. You said you're taking it out of the shoulder. Okay, so I'm not sure where you're at or what you're doing, but hope that helps. Okay, all right. I think we're good. And we're at time. And thank you for being here. The goal is get those closets all cleaned up, you guys. Come on, let's get it happening. And I hope to see you. I don't know where I'm going to be next, but I hope to see you because I'll have one of my 25 on. All right, so let's hear that you do this. Really, I'm telling you it will help tremendously. And as soon as we get our video done, we'll have it up. Other than that, happy sewing, you all. Thanks for being here. All right, bye. See you in 2 weeks. We got a surprise for you in 2 weeks, by the way. You want to be here. See you then. Bye.